Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Well, tough one. Double overtime loss by the Knicks to the Atlanta Hawks. Trae Young went crazy on us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. What can I say? We don't have a lot of time tonight. I don't have a lot of time tonight. So I'm going to get right into it, man. Let's break this thing down. Make sure you give me a call, 516-405-2246, or join the Whereby, whereby.com/NBK. Let's get it.
That's the G.
The New York Knicks were in Atlanta tonight, ladies and gentlemen, playing the Atlanta Hawks, and we did have a NBK ambassador there. Tamika, thank you for being there tonight. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself in an exciting game that went into double overtime. As you see, Julius Randle, he started off hot tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Started off hot. Played well throughout the game. Couple of blunders, but he played well. It's Trae Young, that man, he did his thing. As you see right there, right off top in the second quarter, it is right now. And they got to abbreviate this game a whole lot because this game went into double overtime. 51-50, the Hawks are up at the end of the second quarter. And, I was a little bit disappointed because the Knicks had a 15-point lead, ladies and gentlemen. A 15-point lead early on in this game, and they could not hold on to it. They relaxed. They rested. As you see, Elfrid Payton go to the basket, dip it off to Taj Gibson as Taj Gibson puts it in. 53-52, the Hawks are up. And this man right here, Trae Young, so elusive, so slick with the ball and off the dribble. 55-52, the Hawks are up. Julius Randle, the fast break, takes it in, gets the hoop and the harm. 56-56, game is tied. Trae Young in the paint, gets the ball to big number 24, Bruno Fernando. Bruno Fernando was fouling up a storm early, though. Fouling up a storm. And then Jeff Teague, back with the Hawks, takes Ntilikina to the basket and lays it in. Jeff Teague tonight, remember, he got traded from the Minnesota Timberwolves earlier in the year. He's got 8 points. He had 8 points, 4 for 8 from the field. All right, 63-61, the Knicks are up beginning of the third quarter. And after this basket here, the Knicks would no longer have the lead for a while, ladies and gentlemen. You see Elfrid Payton get inside. He finds R.J. Barrett cutting to the basket from the baseline. The one thing I can say is there are more shot attempts going around for the New York Knicks since Marcus Morris has not been here. I will say that. 70-66, Elfrid Payton with the kleptomania takes the ball, brings it in for the dunk. 70-68. The Hawks are up. It's third quarter. Kevin Huerter, this guy can shoot. Started letting him get hot. He knocked down a couple of them to really extend the lead for the Hawks. And because the Hawks started getting hot from that three-point line, Kevin Huerter had 16 points tonight. He had 16 points and 6 assists. And then Trae Young, he was cooking all night long. He really started cooking in that third quarter. You see Kevin Huerter one more time, gets the screen, gets inside, dips it off. What can you say? John Collins, he had 32 points for the Hawks tonight. Frank Ntilikina finds Julius Randle. Julius Randle off the glass. The Knicks trying to stick around. It's a 10-point lead in the third quarter for the Hawks. Frank Ntilikina one more time to Julius Randle. Julius Randle misses, but Mitchell Robinson, he gets the rebound and puts it back in. Mitchell Robinson had 15 points and 11 rebounds tonight, along with 3 block shots. Mitchell Robinson was instrumental in the Knicks staying in it down the stretch of the game. Into overtime and all of that. Got to give it to him. Kevin Knox gets the little block or tip or whatever you say. Frank Ntilikina gets it back to Kevin Knox. Knox fakes, pulls up from 3, bang, knocks it in. Kevin Knox, he was 1 for 5 from the field, played 12 minutes. He had 3 points. 90-78, the Hawks are up. And I'm going to tell you, for a while, I was like, this one's done. Frank Ntilikina goes to the basket. I didn't know if the Knicks had it in them to fight back. Frank Ntilikina had 9 points. He played 25 minutes on the night. He also had 8 assists, did Frank Ntilikina. Frank Ntilikina advancing the ball up the floor once again, gets it over to Wayne Ellington, who's been playing a lot of minutes for the Knicks. Wayne Ellington knocks down a 3. He's been playing a lot of minutes for the Knicks. He played 31 minutes tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Huerter in the paint, knocks that one in. The Hawks up 99-86 at this point, and Trae Young, crafty with the dribble, crafty with the shots. He can get them up and get them in with the best of them. That's why he made the All-Star team. 104-91, the Hawks are up. Fourth quarter, 9 minutes and 25 seconds. Frank Ntilikina, nice pull-up jump shot. He knocks it down. Again, Frank Ntilikina was 3 for 8 from the field, 0 for 4 from the three-point line, but he had 9 points and 8 assists. And then Trae Young. Trae Young puts it in. Trae Young, ladies and gentlemen, the All-Star, the first-time All-Star, he had 48 points tonight. He was 13 for 30 from the field. He was 6 for 13 from the three-point line. He was 16 for 16 from the free throw line. 16 for 16 from the free throw line for Trae Young, and he also had 13 assists. Trae Young really, really, really gave it to us tonight. He gave it to us tonight, as you see. Number 12, DeAndre Hunter. I like DeAndre Hunter. Knocked down the mid-range jump shot. He had 19 points and 9 rebounds tonight. Julius Randle puts in another one. Julius Randle, he had 35 points, 18 rebounds. He also had 6 turnovers, though. There goes that guy, Trae Young, mini Superman, if that's what I don't know what you want to call him. He's just a mini something, but he was killing us all night long, ladies and gentlemen. 114-107. I didn't know if the Knicks had anything in them, but they kept fighting and pounding. I'll give it to him. Julius Randle with the nice little fadeaway jump shot in the lane. Elfrid Payton gets the ball out to Reggie Bullock. Reggie Bullock, he knocks it down. All of a sudden, it's 114-112, and the Knicks are right back in the game with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. Trae Young cuts right between 3 people down the lane and lays it in, 116-112. And then Elfrid Payton finds Mitchell Robinson. I didn't think that pass was going to get through. Somehow it made it through. Mitchell Robinson dunks it home. It's 116-114. The Knicks get the ball back. Elfrid Payton, he finds Julius Randle. Julius Randle gets fouled. Was I nervous with these 2 free throws? You better believe it. Julius Randle was good for missing 1. Every once in a while, he'll make 2. He's good for missing 1. This time, he knocks down both of them to make it 116-116. But don't worry. That 1 for 2, it'll come back. It'll rear its ugly head once again. Julius Randle, the last shot of the fourth quarter, misses the fadeaway jump shot. They funneled him to the right hand. He had to come back to the left, and he missed it. And listen, the Knicks can't get away from having things reviewed, right? Instead of just letting the time run out, they give him a few seconds back, and Trae Young almost ends it right there. So we're in double overtime, we're in the first overtime, ladies and gentlemen, and the Knicks take control of the first overtime. Elfrid Payton gets a steal, lays it in. The Knicks are up 2. And then Collins to the basket. He misses. Oh, no, he put that one in. My bad. See that? See that? He put that one in. 118, and then 121, 118, and then a nice steal from Elfrid Payton and a nice behind-the-back pass to Reggie Bullock. And it's 123-118. The Knicks up 126-118 with a minute and 34 seconds left. The Knicks are up 8 points, ladies and gentlemen. 8 points with a minute and 34 seconds left. They could not hold on to the lead. Trae Young knocks that one in. And then Trae Young gets down the lane. He puts that one in to make it 126-122, 58 seconds left. And the Knicks had a bad strategy down the stretch, ladies and gentlemen. You see Wayne Ellington could have went in for the layup. He kicks it back out. The Knicks started to play not to lose instead of to win. To me, that was a real turning point in that overtime. A real turning point in that overtime. The Atlanta Hawks began to send a double team to the ball handler. And instead of the Knicks taking advantage of that and getting an easy layup, they continued to kick it back out. They started to play not to lose instead of to win. So we're in double overtime. Elfrid Payton to Mitchell Robinson with the dunk. And he gets fouled, but he misses the free throw. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 130-129. The Hawks are up. Mitch Robinson gets caught. Still double teaming Trae Young, and DeAndre Hunter becomes wide open from 3, and Mitch Robinson obviously was late. He knocks it down, puts the Hawks up 4, and in this here, Trae Young puts the Hawks up 7 with 2 minutes and 13 seconds left. Start to wonder if the Knicks maybe could try to come back. You don't know. But Elfrid Payton gets in the paint. He cuts it to a 3-point lead. But just couldn't happen. Just too little, too late for the Knicks. They weren't able to bring this one home. The Hawks escape with a double overtime win over the Knicks, ladies and gentlemen. And, this guy right here was just straight solid from the free throw line. He wasn't missing them again. He was 16 for 16 from the free throw line. And the Knicks, they'll get one last shot up from Reggie Bullock. Not even really a shot, just, a heave at the end. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The Knicks lose in double overtime to the Atlanta Hawks, 140 to 135, in a game where the Knicks really didn't start playing defense until they felt like they needed to try to pull this one out. That's the way that I felt about it. Let's take a look at some of the numbers, ladies and gentlemen. What can you say, man? You can say the teams played well offensively. You can say that the teams didn't play well defensively. Whatever it is that you want to say, no matter what, the game went into double overtime and the Knicks lost it. The Knicks shot 47.3% from the field. They shot 38.2% from three. And they were 72% from the free throw line. The Knicks were 18 for 25. They missed 7 free throws. That's going to be the difference in this game, ladies and gentlemen. The difference in the game, the Hawks, they were 45.4% from the field. They were 14 for 40 from three, 35% from the field. I'm sorry, from the three-point line, from behind the arc. But look, they were 28 for 31 from the free throw line. 28. They made 10 extra points from that free throw line. Now, they shot 6 more than the Knicks. Okay, that's cool. But let's say the Knicks were 90% from the free throw line. The Knicks win the game probably if they're 90% from that free throw line. What can you say? The Knicks out-rebounded the Hawks 56 to 50. The Knicks had 30 assists. The Hawks had 29 assists. The Knicks had 12 steals. The Hawks 9 steals. The Knicks had 6 blocks. The Hawks 8. The Knicks also had 17 turnovers. One of the highest turnover outputs recently from the New York Knicks. They had 17 turnovers. The Hawks had 14. Both teams pretty much played even, and it's the way that the game ended out. A few costly mistakes down the end of the game, a few missed defensive assignments. I thought a bad strategy down the end of that first overtime. And that, to me, and that's all Mike Miller, but to me, that's the reason why this game is lost. All right, I thought it was a bad strategy down the end of the first overtime to try and waste time on the clock. I can understand trying to waste a little bit of time, right? I can get that. What I didn't understand, all right, so you're trying to waste a little bit of clock, but in my opinion, when you do get an open, you're wasting some of the clock, but when you get the open lane, you take it. Like I said, I felt that the Knicks started to play not to lose instead of to win during the stretch of that first overtime. And I think that is what changed the game to me, because they were passing the ball around. When they were double teaming, they were taking a chance in double teaming, right? They were sending 2 guys at the ball handler. If you get that ball out quick, boom, swing, and you seen Wayne Ellington, I think another time somebody else had a chance to go to the basket, and instead they kicked it back out to try to waste more clock. I just thought that was a bad decision. I thought it was a bad decision. You should have just went ahead and scored it. The Knicks were up like 7 points at the time. Go ahead and score it. Make it a 9-point game. Go in because most likely they're going to foul you, right? I understand the strategy of spreading the floor out, but once you spread that floor out wide and they give you that opportunity to get a easy basket, you got to take it, in my opinion. So I thought it was a bad strategy down the stretch of that game in the overtime. That's just my opinion. I'm pretty sure everybody has their opinion of it. All right. Let's take a look at the box score of the game, ladies and gentlemen. Then we'll talk to some of the guys that's here in the video checks. I know some people got some things that they want to get in, some things that they want to say. Reggie Bullock tonight, he played 37 minutes. He had 21 points, 4 rebounds. Julius Randle, maybe his best game at the Knicks. as a New York Knick, barring the 6 turnovers. He did have 6 turnovers, and one cost him one down the stretch where he went behind the back. I think the Knicks were already down about 5 points at that time, but we needed a bucket so that we can cut it to 3 points. And he went behind the back in the lane and got it stolen. But anyway, he had 35 points, 18 rebounds, and 3 assists. He would be the player of the game for the Knicks, though, because, for most of the game, he kept us there. Taj Gibson had 4 points, 4 rebounds. R.J. Barrett had 5 points. Elfrid Payton had 12 points. Frank Ntilikina played 25 minutes. He had 9 points and 8 assists. Mitchell Robinson, he played 35 minutes. He had 15 points, 11 rebounds. He also had 3 block shots. Dennis Smith Jr. only played 7 minutes. He had 2 points. Gavin Knox played 12 minutes. He had 3 points. Bobby Portis played 18 minutes. He had 14 points. And Wayne Ellington played 31 minutes. He had 15 points. He was 5 for 10 from the field and 5 for 9 from the three-point line. Damian Dotson did not play. Alonzo Trier, I guess, is still out with a sickness. For the Atlanta Hawks, ladies and gentlemen, and let me get this on over here for you. For the Hawks, DeAndre Hunter, he had 19 points, 9 rebounds. John Collins, he had 32 points, 16 rebounds, 3 assists. Kevin Huerter had 16 points. Trae Young, he had 48 points, 13 assists. He was 16 for 16 from the free throw line. He was 6 for 13 from the three-point line. He was 13 for 30 from the field. Nice game by Trae Young. Some of the shots are wild. I'm not going to lie about that, but nice game from Trae Young, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I can say. Dwayne Dedmon for the Atlanta Hawks, he fouled out, but he had 10 points, 8 rebounds. Jeff Teague had 8 points, played 27 minutes. Brandon Goodwin, he had 3 points. Trevor Graham, no points. Vince Carter, he had 2 points. He played 2 minutes. And Bruno Fernando, he had 2 points, picked up a lot of fouls early, ladies and gentlemen. Charles Brown Jr. did not play for the Atlanta Hawks. So, well, what can we say, man? Double overtime game. Knicks didn't pull this one out. Now I'm pretty sure some people are going to be upset at this and upset at that. It's all good. What you going to do? You know what I'm saying? I'm not like super upset at the game. It is what it is. Gammo.
Yo, what's up, Sim?
What's good with you, bro? Talk to me about the game, man.
Unfortunately, I only saw the parts of the second half and the overtimes. But one thing I saw, the plays down the stretch between Payton and Randall. These guys. And I'm not complaining so much about Morris so much not being here because I wish that we had. Is someone talking? Hold on. Yes, Nate. Sorry, Nate had something on. Apologies. Yeah, I was trying to say that the plays they have between those two men, it's inept. I like Randall in spots where he's driving from the wing straight to the basket, straight decisions, but. Again, when they know that our plays aren't predicated to getting the ball to Bullock or to Wayne Ellington, who both had good games from the three-point line, Payton and Randall aren't finishers. And when we bog the plays down between those two, it could turn into a disaster. Look, Randall giveth and he taketh, right? He had 30-something points. He had a monster game stat-wise. But then you look at the 6 turnovers and that behind-the-back crap he does. I knew that play was going to look ugly because he's not adept at doing that, especially when the guy's around him. Like, he can do it from time to time, but he thinks that he's like some Skip to Malou player who can maneuver and do that in traffic. And it's like, I want to give Randall, say, hey, he had a good game. But it's plays like that down the stretch. Like the Hawks.
I get it. That was a bad play, but they were already down 5 when that play happened.
No, but that's not the point. So the point is the fact that
I'm gonna tell you what play I think is worse than that
point. So I'm not even trying to get on Randall because I know if I get on Randall, you're gonna cut me off anyway. So I'm just trying to say that
it's not even about that. It's just I already knew when we came in that everyone was gonna focus on one person, and it's not even about one person.
I'm not focused on one person. I just
many
said that
plays that
Randall
happen in the game. But go ahead.
I just said that Randall and Payton, because they're not closers, our plays have to be predicated, not predicated, but they have to be constructed a little differently. Because, look, when we have Morris, and I'm not saying, we shouldn't trade. We should trade Morris. It's a great, smart decision. When we have Morris, had a guy who can hit that perimeter shot, who could get you those points, and now you have to come back on defense. And the problem is that we had no answer for Trae Young. What the boy had 48 points. You know what I mean? You showed the play where we try to double team him, but again, if you don't have a team that switches right back out, instantly it gets back to their guy, disrupt Trae, get back, the guy could go off. You know what I mean? And they were trying, and at points they're trying to throw the game away. Look when Trae Young shot that absurd 3 from deep. It almost went and missed out. And those are the type of super plays where that team it's like stupid IQ from the other team. So overall, look, I just wish some of the young. I just wish that we had some of our young guys play. I understand that Trier's hurt, Dotson's hurt, so it's unfortunate they can't play. So some of these, these plays right now seems a little empty. It's weird because the game we had yesterday, the Pistons, or it was the Pistons, right? We looking at. I even said I don't know if we're gonna win, but in this game, you look at it as like, we should win, up by 15 in the first half. And then we come down and don't execute down the stretch. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's just we have to see a little bit better plays down the stretch. And that's also up to Mike Miller. So I'm not killing Randall before someone kills me on that. I'm also getting on Mike Miller where he can't force the issue between those two. And one ancillary thing, screw the refs on that Mitchell Robinson steal.
Yeah,
that is terrible, dude. Like you even if you don't see any team having proper possession and they're looking at, you know what I mean? I don't know why
that couldn't be reviewed or challenged. I guess you can't. I guess it's one of those things that you can't challenge because
you can't challenge.
Clearly,
the ref was supposed to see you have possession.
Yeah, clearly he wasn't calling a timeout, and then there was no possession, and then he called a timeout when Mitchell Robinson had the ball. But let me tell you the reason. There's a reason why. Look, I try to look at all the players and talk about what they did right and what they did wrong. I just feel like a lot of people come down wrong on Julius Randle. Yes, he had 6 turnovers. I get that, right? I get that. You know what I'm saying? But the Knicks were down 5 before he had that turnover, right? They were down 1, and then Mitchell Robinson stayed to double team Trae Young while his man, DeAndre Hunter, became wide open from the 3-point line. But people will gloss over that and just say, well, Julius Randle went behind the back to turn over the ball. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Let me finish.
I'm not even killing Julius Randle. I'm giving him praise for the
let me finish. These are the reasons why, because I feel like he gets unfairly criticized by so many people because really from the beginning of the season, he played bad. Right? And people expect because he makes $19 million a year that he's supposed to be a superstar for this team when he's not. He is not a superstar. He is the best that we have. And so they use him the way that they use him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even on a night when he's over 50% from the field, right? Only took 2 3-point shots, thank God, because he's not hitting them. Had 18 rebounds. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I get it. He had 6 turnovers, and I mentioned it when I did the recap that he had 6 turnovers. I understand that. But there are plays, no one wants to talk about when he had to guard Trae Young out on the perimeter twice and stopped him twice, right? And that's not an easy feat to do. But see, people will gloss over those things because of that turnover. And yes, it was critical. I'm not saying it's not. The Knicks were down 5 and they needed a bucket, right? And he made a mistake. But a million other people on the court made a mistake as well, but that's what's going to be spotlighted. That's the reason why I come to his defense a lot of times, because I feel like people unfairly put the spotlight on him as if he's the only person that makes mistakes on the team. Go ahead, Guillermo.
I just want to say is that I was only pointing out that error in that instance, and I also said that down the stretch it's up to Mike Miller. Because if you force the ball to Julius Randle at spots, it doesn't look good when he over dribbles and stuff like that. So I also blame Mike Miller. I'm not even saying the game. Look, we couldn't get stops. You know what I mean? What was that stupid where I forgot who it was who tipped in the layup for them? Like the other Knicks I'm blaming too. The only guys that get away with saying they had a decent game besides, stat-wise, when you talk about Julius Randle. Look at guys. What's his boy's name? Reggie Bullock, 21 points, 8 for 18 from field goal, 5 for 10 from the 3. Ellington, 15 points, 5 for 10, 5 for 9 from the 3-point line. So I'm not getting on. Mitchell Robinson had a disgusting game tonight. You know what I mean? So I'm not just getting on Randle. I'm even getting on Mike Miller because he's still playing as if those guys are close. And this is why I talk about more off-ball offense to get when you have Julius Ellington and Bullock on the floor, and you need, I don't say easy points, but you need points, right? You have to set it up where Julius Randle, you can run the Steve Novak screens. Get your shooters the ball. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying we need better execution, and it can't just be dribble one guy because we don't have a superstar. Trae Young can literally just operate from up top, and he was beating our guys all night. We were up by 6 at one point, and Trae Young, we couldn't stop him. You know what I mean? So it was up to Mike Miller to create better plays for a team that's devoid of superstars. Do you have certain shooters? Yeah. Do you have certain young players you could use and utilize? Yeah. I agree. I agree with that 1,000%. I'm not trying to get too much on Randall. And the thing about it is, as a team, like you said, too many times, Sim. The Knicks for years. It's not just this year, Sim. We are a tale of two halves. This is our team for you. I don't know what it is. When people come into the Garden, it's either we play. One half is either great and the other half is, and I've been seeing this for years. When we're up by 15, I don't even want people to say we're up by anything. I just feel people just keep saying we're down by 15, even when we're up by 15, because whenever we get that in our head, we go lackadaisical, we get sloppy, we give up leads. We don't have a killer mentality to say, oh, we're up by 15. Let's try to get this up by 30. Let's be ultra aggressive. When they're making runs, let's slow down the ball, call timeouts, throw them off rhythm. I don't know what it is, Sim. But it's up to Mike Miller and it's up to this whatever this Knick regime is, I don't know what it is, to find ways for this team to stay engaged throughout the game. Because, again, people kill me when I said, I don't know if we can win these next 3 games. We win by only 3 last night with a extremely close game against a depleted team. We come tonight against a team that people could have said we should have beat. And this is why I say these things, because we're so wildly inconsistent.
Yeah,
and not just on offense, we're inconsistent with our energy, we're inconsistent with our focus, man. I don't know what it is. I'm sorry,
I honestly blame this game on Coach Mike Miller. That's me. Because when we were up 7 points, 8 points, with 1 minute and 34 seconds left, he played keep away, and I felt it was the wrong decision. He played keep away, and we turned over the basketball, right? Every time down the floor in that 1 minute and 34 seconds, Atlanta Hawks were sending 2 guys to the ball handler. The Knicks would swing the ball to the open person, swing it to another open person, and then when they would penetrate to the basket, they would kick the ball back out. And it was the wrong decision. It was the wrong move. They played keep away with 1 minute and 34 seconds left, up by 8. I understand wasting out the clock, but you still have a shot clock in the NBA. If you get an open lane and you're inside in that paint, go up with the basketball. Instead of going up with the basketball, Wayne Ellington up 6. The ball gets swung around to him. He penetrates into the paint. He is inside the paint. And he kicks it back out to whoever he kicked it back out to up at the top of the key. Instead of going up, they most likely would have fouled the man and put him on the foul line. We tried to play keep away. We started to play not to win, not to lose instead of to win. I understand spreading the floor, but when you spread the floor that way and you have a shot clock, you spread the floor. Once you get inside that paint, go ahead and score the ball. Why kick it back out? You can't waste the entire clock out. You can't do that in the NBA. So go ahead, score the ball, take it up, get fouled, whatever it was. I think we made a grave mistake, up 8 with 1 minute and 34 seconds left, playing keep away. I feel like that is the most instrumental part of this game when it came down to those overtimes, playing keep away down the stretch of the game. That's where I feel this game was lost. If we didn't play keep away, I was coming to Mark next, but I don't see him there. So I'll come to Nate, then I'll come to Isaiah. Oh, there he is. Mark, I'm coming to you. If we didn't play keep away, I feel like this game is done in the first overtime. Go ahead, Mark.
See, I don't want to be this guy, but I'm going to be this guy. So listen, when I watch basketball towards the end. I like to see if players would have the brain power to do things without your coach telling you what to do, like game managing. So now it's so funny that we had the game won 120-126. So it was about 1 minute and 30 seconds. That's where I'm going, because we should have won that game. I don't care. We should have won the game. I don't want to talk about overtime too, because from there I knew we was gonna lose. Elfrid Payton with those 2 foolish turnovers. That's where I'm going. Him. Because guess what? Him and Randall is the only ones holding the ball for 20 seconds of the shot clock. This is what I am seeing from time to time. It's those two. I swear, if you could just watch the game over, I swear, like Elfrid only looks for Randall throughout the game. It's either Randall or Wayne Ellington. No one else really touches the ball when they need to, or for the other team defense not to be so damn obvious. So Atlanta Hawks could not play any defense tonight. They cannot guard a lick. But the reason why they was able to guard from time to time is because the Knicks was playing hot potato between Elfrid and Randall. I'm just seeing those two going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's not how you play basketball, okay? That's not how a point guard should run my team. I don't care. Listen, at the end of the day, yeah, the coach messed up in some instance. But at the end of the day, as a point guard, you have to have the head knowledge to know, listen, I have to manage the game in the right way, knowing how to get the ball out of my hand quick as possible. Like the double team that was thrown at him on the far left corner. He had the opportunity to pass the ball out, but what he likes to do, he likes to hold the ball to almost the last minute. He does that on a lot of plays on fast breaks, where there was one he was coming down and he missed one and it was someone in the corner. They have a tendency to hold the ball longer when they're not supposed to, and it makes it look bad on offense. It makes it look really, really bad. And then when the other guys get the ball, they go cold because it's only a 2-man game that they should not be playing because this team lacks a guy with IQ. A lot of these guys on the court don't have high IQ to know how to finish games. So when people are telling me, yeah, Mike Miller, cool. But when you're a point guard in this league, you don't have blunders like that in the last 1 minute and 30 seconds. He kept having the same blunders back to back. Go watch that. We had the game won. 120, 126. If you go from that time stamp and look at that sequence, you'll be like, oh, there we go. I would say that the overtime was more on Mike Miller because I'm hearing Clyde. The players are tired. Why is Frank not on the floor? Just for defensive purposes. So Trae Young could stop going off because not one person on that team could guard him. Not one of the guards on the other side could guard him. Why wouldn't you put someone with a little intellectual a mind in his head know how to play defense? No, he doesn't do that. But we could have had that game won from the overtime. That's where my beef is. Overtime, 120 to 126. And you go watch that sequence over and over and over again, and you see what happened.
I watched that sequence, and you know what happened? 120 to 126, right? Julius Randle came up with the ball. He got double teamed. He swung the ball. He gave the ball to, I think it was Reggie Bullock. Reggie Bullock swung the ball all the way over to Wayne Ellington, wide open. This is 120 to 126. Wide open over on the wing. Wayne Ellington dribbles into the lane.
Oh, my God. I hate
dribbles into the lane. And under instructions from Coach Mike Miller, kicks it back out.
But
that is the mistake, I'm telling you. That is the mistake. Playing keep away is the mistake. We played keep away for almost 2 minutes. We played keep away when we had lanes after we passed out of the double team. Elfrid Payton passed out of the double team a couple of times, and instead of us going to try to score, we brought it back out to the perimeter when we had open lanes to the basket. That is the mistake to me, and to me, that was on Coach Mike Miller.
And the thing too, Sam, Mitch was under the basket so open, like on 2 possessions.
He was.
Sam, the Hawks didn't know what to do with Mitchell. Just his activity alone was enough for us to do damage in the paint. He was causing havoc down there by himself because he's all over the place, and the Hawks didn't know how to guard that. And I'm watching Elfrid hold the ball. That's my issue with him. Because as a point guard, sometimes you just got to know, okay, I'm not supposed to hold the ball because I need these other players to be touching the ball to get that energy throughout the game. Because again, we cannot rely on Randall because he's not that type of player to take us home every game. So we can't rely on that. So we have to rely on it in a team aspect, meaning people have to touch the ball. People have to feel like they're on the floor. People have to feel like they're part of the game. Like not like when Mitch, when he don't touch the ball like that, thank God for his motor that allows him to keep playing his type of defense that he plays. But sometimes as players, it gets tiring to watch. I'm watching RJ. Listen. I said this. When him and Randall's on the floor, Randall has to learn how to space correctly for him. I'm watching too many times where Randall's in his facility. When Randall gives that ball up, he has to move far out to the corner. He has to move far out. He has to tell the guy that's going to be in the corner to move out so RJ get the space. It is hurting his game. And I'm watching him on the bench. They showed him a couple of times when he's on the bench. And I'm just watching that kid's body language. And he looks bad on the floor because the kid is not getting the space that he's needed. And every time he gets the ball, he feels like he has to rush. He's not playing in the flow of the game that he's supposed to play in. They have to run low post plays for the kid. They have to put him close to the basket. Stop making him run the pick and roll. He's not quick enough. He don't have the ball handling skills yet to do so. Because we want to be able to rely on other players, not just Elford, Ellerton, and Bullock. Bullock had a great game today. But it has to be a team thing, man. It has to be a team thing when I watch it. And the last few games, it was more of the ball movement what made us won the game and the defense at time to time. But you have to get these young guys, the ones that are lacking, the ones that are lacking. You have to get them to touch it. You have to put them in situation where it forces them to make moves, to make plays. Because Alfred Payne is not a consistent playmaker. Okay, he's not a consistent playmaker where he's making great reads. No. It's either a layup or pass back to Randall. Or he'll probably get a layup. But when it comes to the young guys getting open shots, I don't see it for them. So when I watch RJ, it makes me mad because the kid is hurting because of the spacing on the floor when he has Randall on the floor. If you're gonna play RJ, don't play RJ with Randall. If you want to see him do damage.
All right, let me get around to some of these other guys over here. My only question to that, and I'll come back to you, Mark, as I give you a chance to think about it. If RJ Barrett, how is it that, I'm looking at the shot distribution right now. We're talking about shot distribution. I understand what you're saying. And right now, I believe, when I look at RJ Barrett and Julius Randle play, Mike Miller is using those two guys to try to run screen and roll together. Right? He has Julius Randle setting the screen for RJ Barrett. The problem, too, is that RJ Barrett really doesn't have the same, I don't think he has the same court vision as Elfrid Payton. And, of course, he doesn't have that pull-up jump shot yet. Right? But when I look at the shot distribution, we talk about people not getting the ball. I don't know. Wayne Ellington had 10 shots. People are going to say, why is he in the game or whatever. He had 10 shots. Bobby Portis had 11 shots. Kevin Knox had 5. Dennis Smith Jr. 2. Mitch had 8 shots, all at the basket. Frank had 8 shots. Elfrid Payton, 14 shots. RJ Barrett only took 6 shots tonight. Taj Gibson, 3. Julius Randle, 25. But, he had it going tonight. Other nights, he takes about 17. Reggie Bullock had 18 shot attempts tonight. People are taking shots. People are taking shots. When you look at the Atlanta Hawks, right, most of their starting 5 they're the ones who's taking the shots. In the starting 5, you had 1, 2, 3, 4 people over double-digit shot attempts for the Atlanta Hawks, and then you had 1 person off the bench who had double-digit shot attempts. Right, for the Knicks, you had 3 people in the starting lineup with double-digit shot attempts. Then you have 2 people off the bench with double-digit shot attempts. So the ball is getting around to people to take shots. You know what I'm saying? Elfrid Payton had 9 assists. He had 4 turnovers. But he had 9 assists. He had 12 points, 9 assists, and he had 4 rebounds. I'm not upset with the way Elfrid Payton's been playing. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm not upset with the way that he's been playing.
I know.
Nate, go ahead.
Sim, so a couple of things that I want to talk about. First off, this loss falls on Mike Miller, and I'll tell you why. because his rotations at the end of the game were ridiculous. I felt like Elfrid Payton should not have been in the game at the end. He was getting torched by Trae Young almost all game. He just looked like he just could not guard Trae Young.
Who wasn't getting torched by Trae Young? I mean,
yeah, but still, I mean, you got to put Ntilikina in there, man. I mean, Ntilikina's longer. He's got, he can kind of make it tough for Trae Young, him being a small guy.
I mean,
dude, Payton just looked behind him the whole time.
I get it, but look, you put Frank on Trae Young long enough, and Trae Young will start scoring the ball too. I mean, Frank Ntilikina had 4 personal fouls, right? And a few of them were on Trae Young because he had his hand on his hip, and then Trae Young will pull up from 3. They'll call it on the floor, right? So even that, is.
But I'm not saying,
mad at Elfrid Payton the way that other people are. I'm sorry.
I'm putting one of my best defenders on one of the best offensive players, whether or not he can guard him or not. I don't believe Payton's that good of a defender, man. I've been saying that many times, and it seems to rear its ugly head every time in these close games. He just gets torched. Yeah, he can pass the ball.
I don't know. I mean, you're gonna look and you're gonna say, Trae Young did this and Trae Young did that. I can guarantee you, just about all of the guards on our team, Trae Young was gonna have a good game tonight. He was on. He was hot. He was gonna have a good game.
Man. There's no doubt
I am
about
not upset with Elfrid Payton. I'm sorry. I'm not upset with him. I'm not upset with Elfrid Payton. I'm looking at the call in that overtime. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the call in the overtime to no longer be aggressive.
I agree. Playing not to win never wins you games. And also, too, the fact is, Sim, I don't know what the hell we were doing on offense in those waning minutes. Like the last play that Julius Randle was doing in the first overtime, I believe. Dude, if he would have kicked that out to Ntilikina, he had a wide open 3. I mean, I don't understand why he's going in traffic, man. I mean,
you talk about the last shot of regulation.
Yeah, he could have kicked it out to Ntilikina for a wide open 3, man.
I mean, maybe he could have.
Time.
He could have, right? Ntilikina was also 0 for 4 from the 3-point line.
Hey, man, I'd take a wide open 3 than that crap that he threw up.
I mean, we can complain about all of these little things, but listen, Frank Ntilikina was 0 for 4 from the 3-point line. You were trusting him to win you the game?
Hey, man,
the game was tied.
I'll take a wide open 3 over that crap that they did the last play of the game.
All right. I guess. I mean, Julius Randle pulling those shots was over 50% from the field, where Frank Ntilikina from 3 was 0 for 4.
In the lane, man. I mean, he was getting blocked by Deadman every other play sometimes. I mean, I don't know. But let me say this too, man. Listen, Mark's talking about spacing and all that. Here's the reality, man. We don't have a true point guard, okay? We don't have a point guard that is aggressive, that can set this offense up. You look at Trae Young and how the Hawks play, they put the ball in Trae Young's hands no matter what. We don't have that kind of point guard, man. So therefore, there's nobody to dictate the spacing. It's everybody for themselves, basically. And until that changes, we're gonna be the same way, man. We're gonna live by crazy shots, and we're gonna live by Randall scoring a lot of points or whoever gets hot at the end.
Well, I don't think it's gonna be Randall scoring a lot of points like that.
Oh,
today was just a hot day for him.
We traded Marcus Morris.
Yeah, but today was a hot day for him. Last night, when they just won last night, he didn't score a whole lot of points. Right, he had 17 points. I think it was other people scoring. I think it's going to be right now. It's going to be whichever player is hot. That's the way that I feel is going to be right now.
Hey, where's Harkless, man?
I don't know. I guess they're not using him yet because
my God,
he just got here, right?
Man, I don't care. Get him out there for defensive purposes. My God.
Yeah, I guess they're not using him yet. I guess maybe the Knicks have a couple of days off. They don't play until Wednesday. Maybe we'll see him versus Washington.
Hopefully, man. We need his defense
maybe
out
we'll
there,
see
man.
him versus Washington.
Hey, we're still in the playoff hunt, man. I mean, if you looked at it before this game, we were 5 games out of the
I'm trying to go quarter by quarter, game by game, man. I'm not even looking at the playoffs. I'm just saying, man. I just want the Knicks to. I just want the Knicks to try to play some good basketball.
Oh,
that's it. I'm not even thinking about bro.
Yeah.
I'm not even thinking about playoff. If, we get down to it and they're actually in the race, okay, I'll think about it then. At this point, I'm not even thinking about
You don't think
playoffs.
5 games out of the AC is in the race?
I'm just, all I'm saying is I'm not even trying to look at it. You know what I'm saying? I just want them to focus on play. I just want to go game to game. I'm not going to look at it. Now we start really getting down to the stretch and you're like, oh, the Knicks are 2 games out. Then, okay, it's like, okay, let's really make this push. But right now, I just want to see them play some good basketball and try to establish
something. A lot of Knicks fans are pissed off about this loss, but the Hawks are going to be a good team, man. I like their core.
Yeah, and guess what? They got Clint Capella that didn't even play tonight.
Hunter, Herter, whatever his name is. I mean, they got Collins. They got a nice little squad, man. Just watch out for the Hawks, bro.
Yeah, and they got Clint Capella that didn't even play tonight.
Oh, that's right. They got Capella too. I forgot about that. Crap. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't even play tonight. So, they
And they picked up Dedmon too. Dedmon played pretty well. He had like 5 blocks, I think 12 points, something like that.
Huh?
Dedmon, they picked up Dedmon at the trade deadline too, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he played well. So yeah, man. Watch out for those.
I seen some people say that Harkless is under the weather too, so maybe that's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's it. But here it is, and no matter what people are going to complain about it. Listen, we could have won this game and people would say, oh, well, they beat the Hawks in double overtime. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? It's going to happen that way. The Knicks just got to keep on playing and hopefully keep trying to establish something. We didn't play good defense tonight, clearly. We gave up 140 points, right? We had been playing good defense and really shutting teams down. It didn't happen tonight. Now we're going to play another team against the Washington Wizards who can score the ball. Now, they don't play a look at defense, but they can score the basketball. And I don't feel like we can count on the Knicks to score the way that they scored tonight every night. You know what I'm saying? Now, I will say this. Their assist totals have gone up since Marcus Morris is not here. The Knicks had 30 assists tonight. Their assist totals have definitely gone up because it's forcing more people to really get involved into the offense. You know what I mean? So we're going to see, man. I don't know, Nate.
They're about the Knicks all the time.
Let me get to Isaiah.
Hey,
Isaiah, what's good, man? What's up, man?
I'm just I'm numb to it, you know what I've been thinking though, Sim, and I don't know. I've just been thinking about what's the purpose of this season. I don't know. I really don't know what the Knicks are doing.
Well,
I mean, people can tell me. This is how I feel about it. It's just like we're just I don't know. It's just like I'm looking at the court. We have guys just. It's just funny to me. Like, for example, we just have like Wayne Anderson playing better. It's like wasn't really getting that much playing time, but then he's still on the team. Now we might be looking for a buyout. We're not going to get anything from him. It's just a little things, and then it's like, you got RJ sitting, you got Frank sitting. I don't get it. I don't know the purpose of what we're doing right now.
So, let me ask you this, Isaiah.
I don't see it.
Okay, let me ask you this. How many minutes do you expect Frank Ntilikina to play?
25, 30 minutes.
He played 25 minutes tonight. How many minutes do you expect? Huh?
But sir, I understand what you're trying to go. But again,
just answer my question. Just answer my question. How many minutes do you expect RJ Barrett to play?
RJ should be playing 30 minutes at least. 30.
Okay, he played 21. Played 21 minutes and 57 seconds tonight. Let's see if he gets more minutes as he's coming back from that ankle injury.
Yeah, that's understandable. But it's just like we have a lot of just one, and I know how you feel about certain things, but I just feel like, these kids are not going to get better if they're sitting on the court or sitting on a bench, where it's like these situations where, we're playing crunch minutes and we're playing these minutes. It's like, they're not getting. I've seen literally besides Julius Randle and Mitch, everybody else was 1-year players that are not going to be here next year.
Well,
You know what I'm saying? Like, Reggie Bullock's not going to be. Wayne Ellington's not going to be. Elfrid Payton most likely is not going to be here.
I'm going to tell you right now, Wayne Ellington, I think there's going to be a buyout. I think right now they're letting Wayne Ellington play some minutes so that teams can see. Honestly, I'm telling you the truth. I just feel like it's a favor to Wayne Ellington right now that he's playing so many minutes. They're saying, okay, we're going to let you play some minutes, let other teams see your production, and then, because if he's not playing any minutes at all, it's hard for a team to say, yeah, okay, if they buy you out, then you can come sign with us.
But
teams are seeing him play.
Though, is just the fact that, man, maybe it had to do with Marcus Morris playing. I don't know, but it was like I didn't see none of this from Wayne Ellington before. And if we would have got this Wayne Ellington, we could have actually traded. We could have traded him for something. I'm not saying a first round pick.
That's the truth.
But we could have got something for him that way we could say, okay. To me, we have all these 1 year players still, and I feel like the purpose of this coming in was to trade some of these guys for some picks or whatever, second rounders or whatever you can get for them.
I agree
to develop the future. But it's just like frustrating when you got guys like Bobby Portis on the team. You got guys like Wayne Ellington and Reggie. I like Reggie Bullock. Hopefully we can keep him. But you got some of these guys on here. It's just like what about Kenny Wooten? What about all these other guys that could actually have a chance to be with the Knicks for the future? When are we going to see them guys? You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I'm just mad because of the purpose of. I just feel like right now, currently, and this is just how I feel about the team, there's no real direct purpose. Like, okay, the Atlanta Hawks, they just won with young guys. Were all of them young? I think most of them, whoever was playing was young. Most of them guys. I see other teams, and I know the Kings are not the best right now, but they have a purpose. The Grizzlies have a purpose. And they're playing with all young guys. And it just makes me mad where I'm like, we have all these 1 year players. And it's like, dang, can the Knicks just, play the guys that we're going to see in the future to get them in situations where they're not going to be shell shocked next year to be in these situations that they could be in now. You know what I'm saying? That's the part that just frustrates me, where we don't have a direct, like, this is what we're going to do. And we can see it. Right now, it's just literally fuzzy because I'm just confused about what's the purpose of the season. There's no purpose.
Well, you should, because you just had a whole change in front office staff, so you don't know. Well, not a whole change yet. You just, it's in flux, so you don't know what this new person coming in is going to do, right? So you don't know what this new person's direction is going to be. You don't. You don't know that at all. The best thing that you can do right now, and the best thing that Mike Miller can do, is try to have the team play the best that he can. That's the best thing that Mike Miller can do for himself. You know what I'm saying? It's me is right. It's all about Miller playing for his job. That's the best thing that Mike Miller can do. He doesn't know the direction of the team. The players don't know the direction of the team. We don't know the direction of the team. We're not going to know anything until we get this new guy in. And this new guy, Leon Rose, he could come in and say, we're trying to put together a win-now team. You don't know. We don't know what he's going to do when he gets in. He's not even the president yet. You know what I'm saying? They haven't even, it's all not even done. So, yeah, we are confused. We don't know. So we shouldn't expect anything right now because we don't know what direction Leon Rose is going to go in when he finally becomes the president. We have no clue. The players don't know. Coach Mike Miller doesn't know.
Yeah, this is, Sam, this has just been, I was excited for this. I was really, really excited for this team, coming in. And, I still have saying because I still see the pieces there, but it's just, I thought the Knicks should just be more, just, I don't know, just in a spot where it's like you see a future.
Well, let me ask you.
Let
me ask you this. If you were Mike Miller, what would you do? Honestly.
For what I do?
Yes, what would you do? It's your job. It's your job right now. You're playing. This is your audition. Because basically that's what this is for Mike Miller. This is his audition for the Knicks and for any other job that's in the NBA. What would you do?
I mean,
be honest with me. What would you do?
You want me to be completely honest with you?
I want you to be completely honest. This is your job.
If I was Mike Miller,
you have a chance right now. You're the coach of the Knicks with the same roster that Mike Miller has. You have a chance to audition to be the head coach, not just the interim, but to be the head coach and secure maybe a 3-year contract or something with the Knicks, or if not with the Knicks, with another team. This is your audition. This is your interview. What would you do?
I'm going to play the young guys. To be completely honest with you, I'm going to play the young guys. People might not agree with me or might not see what I see, but my opinion, what would be more efficient would be to play the young guys. And for example, let me tell you an example of how that didn't work out for a certain coach. He was a coach for the Knicks, Jeff Hornacek. You know what Steve Mills and Scott Perry told him? You know, to play for your job. And to play for your job, he didn't play the young guys, which was a big factor of him not keeping his job, was he didn't play, you know, the Franks and all them other guys at the time who he had. He wanted to go to the quote-unquote win now, and it didn't work out. My thing would be to play with the young guys, develop the young guys, and have the future set. You know, if you develop the young guys that are actually going to stay on the team rather than just focus on the players that are one-year players and all those guys that are, you know, that's not going to be here. Focus on the young guys and get them right so that, you know what, when they do their interviews for the end of the year, you know what, they'd be like, hey, I love Coach Mike Miller. He helped me get better. You can see it on the court X, Y, and Z versus the one-year player that's going to be like, I hear you guys, but, you know, I'm not going to really be here. I'm going to go to a contender next year. I would focus more on the young guys that's going to be here that can vouch for you for the future. I'd rather do that than focus on one-year guys.
Well, you know, I'm going to tell you the truth. If it were me, I'd play the guys that I think is going to help me win games. Because when I'm auditioning, not just for the Knicks, as I said, for any other team in the NBA, as I'm auditioning, they want to see what can you do with what you have. Not just the young guys. What can you do with what you have? What can you create out of this, given the situation that you were in?
But
and I would put the players on the floor. No, just listen. Hold up. Let me finish. All right. If I was Mike Miller in his situation, I'd be trying to win, because it is my job, not just for the Knicks, because he probably knows he's not going to be coming back for the Knicks anyway. So he's auditioning not just for the Knicks, but for other coaches, other GMs, other presidents, other owners around the league. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest, and that's the situation that Mike Miller is in. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not mad at Mike Miller for, you know, how he decides to play. Do I want to see, you know, RJ Barrett play 30 minutes? I don't know if I want to see him play 30 minutes on a twisted ankle, to be honest with you. Right? On an ankle that's still not totally, I'm pretty positive, not totally 100%. Do I want to see Frank Ntilikina play more? Yes. Do I want to see Kevin Knox play more? Kevin Knox got to do some stuff to show that he needs to play more. Kevin Knox should probably be in the G League. He probably shouldn't even be playing on his team right now. Right? So he's getting 12 minutes and 55 seconds. I'm not upset that he's getting 12 minutes and 55 seconds because he should be playing in the G League. Right? So I'm not upset that he's not getting a whole lot of minutes.
I agree with you on that. Hold up. Kevin Knox needs to be in the G League. I agree with you on that.
Now, Dennis Smith Jr., I mean, we don't even know. I'm just saying, we don't even know if Dennis Smith Jr. is he one of the guys that you say you're going to keep or not? I don't know. We don't know. He got 7 minutes and 49 seconds tonight. So if you look at right now, the only young guy that did not play that deserves to play is Damian Dotson, and that was in lieu of Wayne Ellington. All right, and we'll see what happens with Wayne Ellington. Wayne Ellington played 31 minutes tonight. Frank Ntilikina, Mitchell Robinson, they both played over 25 minutes. RJ Barrett played 21 minutes. That's the only young guys that you really have out here. You got Dennis Smith Jr. Kevin Knox probably doesn't even deserve that 12 minutes and 55 seconds, but they're playing him anyway. All right, he probably, you know, he needs to be in the G League. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, you look at what we had tonight. You know, the young guys that we have that should be out there playing, RJ Barrett, Frank Ntilikina, Mitchell Robinson, they were out there playing. Damian Dotson should have been out there playing too. So, you know, I don't know. I mean, I get what you're saying, but you also got to look at what happened. Because, I mean, I guess you want these guys to play 35 minutes. I guess you want Frank Ntilikina to play 35 minutes because Peyton played 36 minutes, right? Or because Randall played 46 minutes. I guess you want, well, Mitch did play 35 minutes. I don't know. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's poppin'?
Hey, what's up, Sim?
I'm good. Go ahead, bro. I'm good.
I'm just I don't know. I don't understand what all the complaining is about. Yeah, it was a tough loss tonight, but we're playing winning basketball. We're playing good basketball. The last 4 wins. Almost 5 in a row. We got another one, couple days, and then we got another game that's winnable. I mean, you're seeing guys step up that haven't stepped up all season. I mean, Ellington and Bullock are giving you what we pay for. They're giving you their numbers. Frank's playing a little better. Elfrid Payton's playing, as well as he can play. Randall's showing you leadership quality. I mean, does he turn the ball over? But LeBron turns the ball over. So if you're giving me 26, 25, 17 in a win, you're giving me double-digit rebounds. Mitch is coming in. They played him in crunch time. This is what we want. We want this. I mean, RJ's hurt, so he's not going out and playing normal. He's a little bit tentative. I mean, this is what we want.
But the only thing I would say is I would like to see. Okay, Mitchell Robinson was playing down in crunch time. I would like to see R.J. Barrett playing crunch time too. Although R.J. Barrett has played this season in crunch time, so let's not act like he has not played in crunch time moments. He has played in crunch time moments. Like to see Frank Ntilikina play some in crunch time moments. Obviously, Coach Mike Miller is using Frank Ntilikina, in like a defensive and offensive substitutions in certain scenarios. So, I mean, I don't know, what we expect right now. You know what I'm saying?
I don't
know. I don't know if I want to say that Randall is really showing leadership abilities right now. I don't know. Like Marcus Morris was the leader. I feel like we're kind of leaderless right now. The person that I feel like would probably step up and be the leader would be Elfrid Payton. I just don't know that Randall has leadership. I don't think he's not that, in my opinion.
I don't mean he's the guy out there yelling and screaming at the guys and setting them in play. What I'm just saying is he's the guy we're paying the most, and he's going out and producing. Some guys aren't vocal leaders. Like there's players that scored a ton of points and aren't vocal leaders, and there's guys that are monsters. He just doesn't seem to be like that monster. He's just a guy who's going to go out there and work, and he's working. You're giving me double-digit rebounds and close to 20 or above every night. Randall, you're good with me. That's what we paid you for. He's not making $35 million. He's making 18.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and that's the thing. The thing about Randall is I think a lot of people expect him to be that leader, and expect him to be play like a guy that's making $35 million, and he's not going to play like that guy. He's going to have some nights like this, then he's going to have some nights where he is not like this. You know what I'm saying? Randall is probably the third best player on a good team at best, and that's okay. This is what you have right now. You know what I mean? And I don't think the focus should be on Julius Randle because he does make a lot of mistakes as far as turning the ball over and doing those type of things. I don't think the focus should be on him. I think the focus should be on the team moving the ball. We did have 30 assists tonight. We've been getting 25 or above assists since Marcus Morris has been traded. And I'm not hating on Marcus Morris. I'm just saying, right? This is the way the ball has been moving since then. So I would. And I think the ball needs to continue to move, and whoever has the hot hand is who you feed. That's how I think this offense needs to run. Clyde said it down the stretch. Julius Randle was tired. You know what I'm saying? He don't have that kind of stamina. The ball should have been continue to move the ball, and then when you find somebody open, that's who takes the shot.
And I think we lost it at the time you said we did when we were playing tentative. I just noticed, like you said, Ellington went to the basket, could have laid it up, could have passed it out, could have shot just a floater, but be aggressive, and we held the ball. But I do like the fact that Ellington and Bullock are coming in and they're hitting shots. That's what we're going to need without Marcus Morris in the game. We're going to need guys to hit shots. And the two guys that should be hitting shots, the guys that are making the money, the vets, the pros, are hitting shots. I mean, I'd love to be able to say Frank is going to go and hit that wide open shot, like I don't know who said earlier, like, oh, kick it out to Frank. Julius Randle should have kicked it out to Frank. Frank's not. I'm not. I give it to Ellington or what's his name? Dude, he's the fourth or fifth guy. I'd give it to RJ first before I gave it to Frank.
Yeah, RJ wasn't out there though. You know what I'm saying? That's the one thing. I was.
People I would give it to.
Yeah, I was watching though, and I was like, why is RJ not out there on the floor? Obviously, Wayne Ellington played well. RJ and Bullock played well. We'll see what happens from there, man. Hey, I'm gonna let you go. I appreciate it.
No. Thank you guys very much. Have a good night, guys.
No doubt. Have a good one. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I do have a question I want to ask the guys in the chat. Now that we have new leadership, and you see the way that Mike Miller is playing these guys, Guillermo, I'm coming to you. I want to ask you this question.
Yes.
You see that the way that Mike Miller is still playing the guys after the trade deadline. You still think Mike Miller is being hamstrung in some way?
I don't know. I mean, Perry is still here, right? So I'm just not sure. Because you try to make the point yesterday, but it kind of made sense, right? When you said that to kind of play Ellington showcase when he's going to get a buyout, but it makes no sense. Everyone knows who Ellington is, so there's no real reason to have that. But then you look at guys like, you said Dotson was healthy tonight, Sim?
I think Dotson was healthy. He just got a DNP. He's when I'm looking at the score, when I'm looking at the box scores, he's on there. So usually if a player is not healthy, he's not on the box score, which I think that's why, like Mo Harkless right now is not on the box score. Alonzo Trier, he's not on the box score. Damian Dotson is on the box score. He just got a DNP, coach's decision.
Didn't play him, right? And I just, is it Mike Miller? Is just bad lineups now, Sim? Because, the thing, and I don't know Trier's illness, but I'm looking at certain guys. So I think with Trier is definitely the whole clutch sports thing. Something is up with Trier. I know he's so-called sick, but this dude is like, he's not even being close to being considered. And they mentioned that the other night, Walt Clyde, I don't remember who was on with him. Walt Clyde was actually one who asked, is like, what's up with Trier? And they said, oh, you're sick. But I think Walt Clyde was trying to ask, like, where is this guy? Like, he's not getting any burn. And it kind of, there's something going on. Maybe the agency, Clutch Sports, and that's a sad thing where maybe Clutch Sports clients, they're kind of being shunned by some other teams. Because remember, when you're an agent, these guys are fiercely, they're competitive. So I don't know what it is. When I'm looking at guys like Ellington get major minutes, is that because Ellington gives them a better stability at that spot? Like, don't get me wrong, he had a good night tonight. He had a really good night the other night where he shot like 3 or 4 threes in the fourth quarter, whatever it was. But I don't know. Does Perry have the power, Sim? If you talk about Leon Rose, Perry is basically powerless in terms of making decisions now to, get for the team later. And I know Dolan can't make those decisions. So I really don't know. I can't call it, man.
Right now, Leon Rose isn't. I mean, obviously, he's probably going to take that seat within the next couple of days or something like that. Sometime this week, we hope. But right now, Leon Rose, he's not even there.
Do we have any Leon Rose clients in right now?
Do we have any Leon Rose clients right now? I don't think so.
From his agents, yeah.
I don't know. There is somebody. I think Wayne Ellington.
Whoa.
I think Wayne Ellington is with,
you just said. Hold up. Let me look it up. What's the agency? Is it Worldwide? What is it?
It's Let me see. I just read it. I think his agency is CAA. CAA.
Leon Rose is CAA, right?
Right. Leon Rose is CAA.
You
Leon Rose.
Rose.
I think Wayne. I'm sorry. No, he's not. He's Bartlestein. Leon Rose. His agent is Bartlestein, Mark Bartlestein. There was somebody who I thought on the Knicks that might have been represented by CAA. I don't know.
I mean, okay, can you help me out? Like, why Trier and the quote, even the quote, I don't know if it's a team quote, whatever, that we're gonna try to trade him to get him more playing time on another team. Like, did he say something? Like, I'm just confused. Is it agency stuff? Because again, Perry, to me, he seems like he could be petty as well too. And I know it just feels like they don't like Trier for whatever reason it is. But we're not playing, like, people got on me the other night when I said we're playing young guys. I mean, we're playing the vets. And these wins feel kind of empty because we're not playing with the guys that most likely will be here in the future. And it just feels weird. What's the development? Because you need development with the coach. We don't know if he's going to be here next year. And or you need development with certain players. And where's that? I don't know.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Now one thing that I was reading is that Leon Rose, and this is what I feared about Leon Rose. While he has all the connections, he has all the respect around the league, right? Mm-hmm. He's not a guy that pays attention to the details. So he needs a GM. This is just what I read. Just what I read from, a report and from another source, right, that I read. That he's going to need somebody who can pay attention to the details. You know what I'm saying? And so whoever he brings in as GM, if he replaces Scott Perry, needs to be able to handle the details of the day-to-day stuff.
Well, he needs to.
This is the type of thing that I feel.
We have to. This one thing that Dolan has been doing. He has to clean house. When you start with a regime, can't hamstring the regime with the existence, unless it's a coach, which is sometimes different, right? Sometimes you want stability. Maybe you came around the right interim coach, he might work out. Maybe the coaches you want aren't going to be free until whatever year, so maybe just hold him over, have him help develop the team. But he needs to get rid of guys like Perry. If you're going to go with whatever your direction is, go ahead strong with that direction. Let there be no interference, because again, you're just going to keep doing that where you change this guy, but you keep this guy. You change this guy, but you keep this guy, right? And you're talking about attention to detail. We need, and this is why we should not have gotten a president who's geared towards talent, bringing in talent, right? These agent guys or whatever, right? A lot of agents might feel a certain way and not want to send free agents there anyway. And we don't really have a good rapport with guys like that to bring big-time stars that come to New York to begin with in the past recent years. And the Knicks need a president, or whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't know what they call these guys. A president to create the proper basketball structure. Look, players can do whatever they want. They get Instagram chicks from wherever they are. They want to go to winning environments. They don't care about the Mecca. You needed a guy to come in to properly build out or develop his own scouting department, analytics department, player personnel development department, the health, whatever you call it, the physical, whatever you call that department, training, physical fitness department. They need to develop that stuff, and those guys will poach from other people's trees if they don't come from a tree already. That's why we need this guy. But Dolan, again, because he thinks we're just quick. He's thinking, how can I tap into the free agency market? This is the same mistake we made with Melo, where you're going for the big name instead of a big name free agent, instead of going with the proper basketball structure that will build out and sustain you for years. Because if we flop with Giannis, we flop with AD, because this guy thinks, hey, let me bring in Leon Rose. He's a big talent guy. He could get these guys for you. You're going to be back to square one. You're going to be back to square one. This is Groundhog's Day, man. This is not ain't a good hire. We should be focused on team development, not trying to get the biggest free agent to come and save us. One guy's not even going to save the Knicks. What is wrong with whatever, man. Let me outrant. Sorry. Go to Isaiah and Mark. My bad.
We'll see. I'm just asking a question. We don't know yet. Listen, he might hire a GM that knows everything and understands how to focus on the details. And he could. I mean, I'm just asking a question. He could still. I'm not going to jump the gun and say he's not going to do that, because he could still hire that GM. We'll see. We're going to find out. Mark, what's your take, man? Is Mike Miller still being hamstrung or no?
Well, Mike Miller's not going to be here at the end, so that's. I'm not too worried about that. I think he's coaching. He's doing what he can with this roster, and he's been doing a decent job, especially defensively. You know, in some games. So the Leon Rose guy, I think he's going to be. I can't judge him now. Next year, it's more down the line with him personally to see his wheeling power, because the way the Knicks are set up now, it's good and bad, just from an asset standpoint, and what we collected, or we might continue to collect. But a lot that can help us is with the player development, because, again, say some cases, guy like Knox come out next year and he averages 14 points or something like that. Frank come out decent, like a real NBA player, like he's became consistent. And then you have Mitch Robinson getting his stripes, which he's doing this year. RJ elevates his game. Just everyone around us just looks like NBA players, where they look like a commodity now. Now, Leon Rose is more for the aspect when the time to pull the trigger on someone we might not think that we could get. I think he's going to have the ability. Now, he's a smart man, because he's working with the most powerful agency in the world, and he has great relationship with Dolan. That's why Dolan want to get it done, and I think Dolan's going to give him the autonomy. That's why Dolan went after him also. But me personally, I'd love Ujiri for other aspects. But I think when they mentioned Bobby Marks, I think it was Bobby Marks they mentioned. I like him. He knows his basketball very, very well. I'm not too afraid. I feel calm when it comes to the new presidency compared to the last couple of years, especially with Steve Mills in the office, honestly, because I think now Dolan from a standpoint seems a little disciplined of not giving up his young talent, because Steve Mills was going to pull another haymaker, and he just fired him after he found out that Steve Mills was about to get all these picks and two of the young players, and Dolan didn't like that. So Dolan has some sense, and he's still mad off of the February trade. He was highly mad off of that, and then he was extra mad when he found out Mills was going to pull another stunt like that. So he fired. It was just time. So I think Dolan is smart on that aspect, knowing that he know the fans want us to keep the assets, because I believe, Sim, if he wasn't smart enough, he would have got rid of Frank. Because one thing with Frank, if you watch games, when he's on the floor, just look how the fans react. So when Dolan's in there, he sees those type of reacting to certain players. So I think that's why he kept a lot of the players this time. Kept a lot of them, because I thought Dennis Smith was going to get moved. I even thought Wayne Ellington was going to get moved, and all these other players. But I'm glad they didn't do no type of movement but the Morris one. That was just the one you had to make. But I think right now, I'm calm right now when it comes to the presidency. I just want to see when you put him in, because there's another guy who he's going to bring in the office, not part of the GM, but in the office. There's some other guy, I forgot his name, Westworld. That's another guy. He's another
World Wide West.
Yeah. Yes, he's another. He's on that Jay-Z level where the dude, he's that dude. Put it like that. He is that dude. So again, I think those two guys is going to try to build the organization from in, so it can entice guys to come, because when you hear Kevin Durant, when you hear the Kyrie Irvings, they want the top of the office to be player friendly, just like how you have in Golden State with Bob Myers. So the GM is different from the president, from what he's going to do. What he has to do is get the right GM and allow that GM to make the moves. All he's going to do is sign off and just look over stuff. But when it comes to putting the other pieces in the office, Leon is going to he's bringing in the right guys. I ain't going.
Well, that's what we hope, because the president is the one who's really in charge of putting the guys together. The GM is going to be in charge of making the deals. Now, the connections that he has is what everybody is banking on. You know what I'm saying?
And it's true. Steve Stout. I told you I told you he's in Dolan's ears because he's there to correct the image of the Knicks. I know he's about to change everything. And
I'm not so sold on the whole Steve Stout thing. I ain't gonna front. I'm not super sold on the whole Steve Stout thing.
But he's here, and I said I want to see what he's gonna do. But he's a smart guy, and he ain't a millionaire for no reason. So he know what he's doing from a
business standpoint and a marketing standpoint. My fear with Steve Stout is that all of a sudden we're going to see all these marketing schemes, and because the marketing schemes might have people coming to the Garden because there's going to be this halftime show and that halftime show, and there's all these crazy marketing schemes, and we're glossing over the players and we're glossing over the product that's on the floor. You know what I'm saying? Now, I did read an article where he said, overall, the Knicks have to win, and that's what's going to bring people out. But he's focusing a lot on the marketing and entertainment aspect of it. And I'm not cool with that. I just want to focus on the product on the floor.
Before I go. When Steve Mills got fired, I want people to pay attention to this. When Steve Mills got fired, Rich Paul put up a strongman sign, like you're pumping up your muscles. So I think things are going to change. I feel really, really confident this time. I think things are going to change with Leon because that's Dolan's guy for years, and he's powerful. I feel confident this time, man. I really do. And I hope things go well. Because if they get upstairs correct to keep Dolan away, but get guys who can be a buffer to Dolan, I think that's going to do us well. Because now, when you had Steve Mills and Dolan together, that's not a fit. That's not a good fit. Because now you're attacking Steve Mills, and then what are you gonna go after? Dolan, and Dolan don't like that. I think Leon and those guys, or whoever he brings in, is going to be the ultimate buffer. So Dolan won't have to be in the picture at all. We won't mention his name. We won't even look at him. I think that's what's going to happen from now on when Leon gets signed. And I told you, Scott Perry's going to go. He was just there to make that one move, and that's it, man. He's gone.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how that works out with Scott Perry. He could end up being in another part of the organization or doing something different. Maybe not the GM, but he could end up doing something, scouting or something like that. We'll see what happens there. I want to talk about Marcus Morris. I'm gonna come to Rob the Nick. I mean, not Marcus Morris, Bobby Portis. I want to talk to Rob the Nick. Right, because we are in buyout season, and right now, obviously, the Knicks haven't bought out anybody. But Bobby Portis says he won't quit.
What up, baby?
Knicks. What's up, Rob? Bobby Portis said he won't quit. Right, so there were questions on whether or not Bobby Portis would opt out. Okay, or ask for not opt out. I'm sorry, or ask for a buyout. Now, this is what Bobby Portis had to say. I'm going to read it to you. And then there's something else that he said that I want to read too. And I want to get your thoughts on it, get you guys' thoughts on it. But this is what Bobby Portis said. He said, I'm 24 years old. I'm not doing a buyout. I'll make as much money as I can for my family. I'm 24. I'm not thinking about a buyout at 24. I'll probably set a record as the first guy to do a buyout at 24. It's just not even in the equation. He repeated, I'm 24 years old. I need as much money as I can for my family, my mom, my brothers. I haven't even thought about it. I don't know who came up with that. People think I'm older than I am. I'm still a young player as well. What do you think, man? Do you think the Knicks should buy out Bobby Portis or keep him around? All right, he makes $15 million this year. There's a team option for next season. So any buyout is only going to help the Knicks. It's not really going to help Bobby Portis, right? Because the Knicks, if you think about it, they're probably not going to take his team option. So with Bobby Portis, he's probably like, no, that's what he's saying. I want to keep my $15 million. So you're not going to buy me out for less. You know, I'm not going to take 10. I'm not going to take 12. I'm not going to take 14. I want my 15 million because you're probably not going to pick up my team option. Right? That's what Bobby Portis is saying.
But he's halfway through the season. Sim, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, Sims, he's halfway through the season. So right now at the halfway mark, we probably at 7, right? 7 million. Because he's been cashing a check every month all the way up until now.
Right.
So does it really matter?
It doesn't.
I don't think it really matters.
It only matters if Portis wants to try to play for a contender. That's it.
He would have to put that to the front office and say, okay, yeah, this is what I want to do. We did it with Morris because Morris gave us everything.
Well, that wasn't a buyout. That was a trade. I mean, what I'm saying is,
trade. But he gave us everything, so we can look at him like that. I think that he would have to come to the Knicks organization and say, okay, I want to buy out or I want to play for. But at 24 years old, I don't really think that he's looking at it like that.
Well, I mean, basically, he already said he's not looking at a buyout. He doesn't want a buyout. He's basically saying he's letting it be known that I am not going to accept a buyout.
Anything that, and if I was him, I would do the same thing.
I get you. I get you. Now, if I was the Knicks, I would want a buyout. If I was the Knicks, I would want to buy him out.
You know what I'm saying? If I was the Knicks, give him his $7 million. If you want to buy him out, give him his money or keep him on the team. Or
normally when you buy somebody out, there's an agreement like, okay, we're gonna buy you out. You know, you're making 15 million. We'll give you 12. You know, and the person says, okay, cool, you give me 12, then I'll go play for somebody else. Basically, he's like, I'm not doing that.
He's 24 years old. You know, he's young. Now, if he was 34 years old and looking for a championship ring or something like that, he may go that way and say, okay, I'll do it then.
I get it.
You know, but my thing is this here, and Sims, I just wanted to ask you something about this. It's been on my mind like lately. I think we're spending too much time talking about the front office because the players on the floor is what we need to look at. Now, Scott Perry hasn't been doing a bad job. Steve Mills has been doing a bad job. I don't think that he needs to fall in line. I like Scott Perry. I really do. It's like, you know, I don't feel as though that he's hurting New York. Steve Mills was hurting New York. And to get somebody else to put in that situation just because it may be Frank player versus Peyton, who we think is this guy's favorite player, Frank is coming into his own slowly. I think that if Frank would have stayed in the game, we would have won. You know, I really feel as though that today we would have won that game. So as far as like Perry is concerned, he's not making wrong moves. So why we so flushed to get rid of him? What have he done that was wrong so far? He only been there a year. And I don't see anything that he has done wrong. The Porzingis trade, look, it's a lot with that. We're going to figure that out down the line. All of that's going to come out in the wash down the line. Because if you really look at that Porzingis trade and what happened with that, who planted the seed with Porzingis was Phil Jackson. He planted that seed that when he skipped out on Phil was like, yo, trade him. Perry he inherited that. And if it was dysfunction then, but the seed was planted by Phil Jackson. So we have to live with that. I don't see nothing wrong that Perry did. I might be missing something. You think I am?
No, you're not missing anything. I don't think you're missing anything. I think Perry, as far as being a GM, when you look at the Knicks salary cap situation and the length of the contracts that the Knicks signed, has done a pretty good job, honestly. Right. And, one of the things that I begged for is that the Knicks not make any moves over the trade deadline. And for the most part, they moved Marcus Morris and they got the first round draft pick. They didn't take back any salary. You got Mo Harkless here. You got a second round pick as well. So, okay, you did good with that. You did good. They didn't move anything else.
You feel me?
Right.
Yeah,
I
feel you.
Yeah, they didn't move anything else. And now you can let these new people come in and make some moves with, what you have here. That was good. I know everyone just says that Perry is automatically gone. I'm not so sure.
I don't see it like that.
I don't think Perry is going to be automatically be gone. I think he's respected in the organization, and I think he's respected around the league. That's my opinion.
Exactly. Me too. I feel the same way, Sims. I feel the same way. That I feel as though Rose and Perry, they can work together. They really can work together. And I'm not so sure that Mike Miller won't be the coach. We're forgetting he was coach of the year in our younger league. He was coach of the year.
It's true. It's true.
He can be an up and coming coach. We seen Spoelstra go that way. We see Van Gundy came in that way. Nobody knew Van Gundy before.
Yeah.
We knew that he was on Pat Riley's staff.
Yeah. So, Rob, real quick, and I want everybody to hear this, guys in the chat too. Speaking about Scott Perry, this is from the New York Post, talking about Leon Rose and some GMs that he could possibly sign. Right? Leon Rose. Well, you already know that part. All right, so this is from an NBA personnel director. Said Leon is known as a nice guy around the league, but he would need a lot of help. He isn't a detail guy, right? I hope these guys are listening. I hope everyone in the chat is listening. Acting Knicks president Scott Perry has the wherewithal and long connection to William Wesley, who is expected to come aboard in the front office. Maybe Perry will be reassigned as director of college scouting if not kept in place. I do think there's a chance that Scott Perry is kept around. Maybe not in the same position, but that he is kept around. You talk about, Mark was talking about William Wesley. Clearly, Scott Perry has a connection to William Wesley, so we'll see. Here's a list of potential candidates from NBA sources that could be a GM. You got Chris Wallace. He's one of the savviest veterans on the market. He was the GM in Memphis for 12 seasons before being reassigned to a scout last year. While he did blow it with Hasheem Thabit at number 2 in the 2009 draft, Wallace presided over the Grizzlies, posting winning records for 7 straight seasons in the rugged West. Bobby Marks. A lot of us know Bobby Marks as a salary guy for ESPN, salary cap guy for ESPN.
Yeah.
Right. He was a fixture with the Nets as their capologist, but also knows personnel evaluation. After parting ways with the Nets,
I think he had the stint with Minnesota too.
Yeah. After parting ways with the Nets, he became a star at ESPN, reporting on the salary cap. He also happens to be a CAA client, so we'll see where that goes. You got Malik Rose. Everybody remembers Malik Rose, the former Knicks and Spurs forward. He's been in Detroit as an assistant GM, the past 2 seasons. Prior, Rose was the Hawks manager of basketball operations. He's always considered one of the brightest minds in the NBA. You got Troy Weaver, Oklahoma City's longtime vice president of basketball operations, interviewed for the Wizards job last year, so he's game for a move. Now, that could be somebody. You can't get Sam Presti. You want to pick people from good front offices. In Oklahoma City, they have a very good front office. Siobhan Robinson, thank you for the super chat. You said we better sign Presti to a king's ransom than as GM. Well, if you can't sign Presti, maybe you go ahead and you sign Troy Weaver, who's been working under Sam Presti, and he can bring some of that he can bring some of that knowledge to the Knicks. And Ghost Rider, thank you for the super chat. He said, "What's up, General Sim? What's up to you, Ghost? Appreciate you." So maybe Troy Weaver is a guy that you look at because he's coming from a good organization. Kenny Smith is another name thrown out there, the former cerebral NBA point guard. He's out of Queens. Is antsy for a challenge outside of TNT. With other games he's watched as one of the TNT's top studio analysts, Smith is regarded as having an eye for talent. Another guy, John Calipari, could be, I don't know, Leon Rose, John Calipari.
With the Nets back in Brooklyn. People forget.
I'm gonna tell you what. I feel like
that.
if you had John Calipari, and then you got Leon, I feel like to me that's too much. That's too mobbish to me. I'm sorry, maybe I'm wrong for saying that. It's too mobbish for me. You got John Calipari, you got Leon Rose. It's too. I don't know. I wouldn't want to go that route. You got Ryan West, Jerry West's son. So, I don't know. Obviously, we don't know if he's going to be like Jerry West. But if you got Ryan West there, you might have a pipeline to Jerry West to get some ideas and pick some ideas from Jerry West. Tayshaun Prince.
Jerry West, 115 years old.
I don't give a damn. Ain't nothing wrong with his mind. He might not be able to walk, but he can think.
I'm saying, soon as we get him, God bless the day, he might just croak.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me, Rob.
I don't want to do that.
Don't do that to me, Rob. You don't know.
But look, I'm good. I'm good with Perry.
Okay, all right. Well, let me just name off these list of players. Let me name up these guys. Tayshaun Prince, the former Pistons champion, was promoted to VP of Basketball Affairs for Memphis 1 year ago. Prince initially was hired as a special advisor to the GM. For what it's worth, he knows Perry well from their days in Detroit. You got Brandon Williams, a former Sixers VP of basketball who worked under Sam Hinkie and was the assistant GM in Sacramento before being forced out last year. And then Mark Hughes, he's a former Knicks top scout, has worked well inside the Clippers' talented office, and he's well respected within the Knicks organization. Out of that list, I'd go with Troy Weaver out of that list because I like the fact that he's been in Oklahoma City where they've had a strong front office and he can bring some of that to the Knicks. That's what I would do.
Question, Sam's question. One question for you. All of those names you just named right now, from what Perry showed us so far, you would start all over and go with them other than what we have.
I mean, the thing is, here's where this.
No, personally,
some people have
from
an
what
ability.
You've seen this man do
but
so
listen,
far.
But listen, what he's done so far has been good. I'm just speaking on when you have.
I want to know what you think.
I
want to know what you. I want your opinion.
I'm telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I think. All right. I like Scott Perry, and I want to keep Scott Perry in the organization. I wouldn't mind keeping him as a GM. I'm not going to lie to you. I wouldn't. But most of the time, if you bring in a new president, that president is going to want to put their people there, right? That just makes sense. That's what they do. They want their people to be there. He'll work with Scott Perry for the remainder of the year. He'll probably work with him and say, all right, let me evaluate this guy and see what I think and see if he can fit anywhere in my front office. That's what I think will happen. Also, let's look at Scott Perry's track record, though, too. He wasn't successful in Orlando, all right? He was in Detroit, but it's not like he was the decision maker in Detroit. Other people were the decision maker. He was just part of the team. Wasn't successful in Orlando. He only had a short stint in Sacramento. So it's not like Scott Perry has a track record. Someone like Troy Weaver, in my opinion, even though he wasn't the head decision maker, right? He was the vice president of basketball operations, which means there was one person over him. You got the president, vice president, and you got a GM. You're coming from good stock. Doesn't mean it's going to be perfect. I'm just saying you're coming from good stock. So out of that group, I would choose Troy Weaver just because he's coming from a place where I think they're forward thinking, right? They have a good culture and structure, a good structure in place. I'll say that. You know what I mean? And he could bring that knowledge to New York. And I think coming from a place like that in Oklahoma City, you talk about Leon Rose needing somebody with detail, right, that can bring details. I don't know, and maybe he can't, but I feel like coming from that type of a system already, that type of a structure, he can probably bring that with him to New York. You know what I mean? I don't know. We'll see.
I like Perry.
Yeah.
I
One
like
more
Perry
thing on
better.
Bobby Portis. I do want to say this. One more thing on Bobby Portis. He made this statement as well. He said, when asked if the team will miss Morris a lot, he said, not really. He said, I averaged 13 points and 14 points the last 2 years. We have scorers who can score the ball, but we want to share the basketball and be a team. The last 4 games, we didn't care who was the leading scorer. We wanted to just win the game. I feel our team is peaking in the right direction. This is Bobby Portis when asked if the team is going to miss Marcus Morris. Do you
What you think about what he said?
Yeah, that's what I want to ask you. What do you think about what he said?
Hey.
What do you? I'm gonna read it one more time. So when Portis was asked if the team will miss Morris a lot, he said, not really. I averaged 13 points and 14 points the last 2 years. We have scorers who can score the ball, but we want to share the basketball and be a team. The last 4 games, we didn't care who was the leading scorer. We wanted to just win the game. I feel our team is peaking in the right direction. What's your take on that, Rob?
I have to agree with him. I'm sorry. I have to agree with him because it seems I'm seeing an emergence of players. Like we lost today, and I smacked myself in the head because I was in Atlanta, but I thought the game was in New York. And when I got home and I turned on the game, I said, "Oh my God,
I missed that, Joe.
I missed the opportunity." But really, yeah, I really agree with that. I agree with him. I agree that the team right now, we got the same mistakes with Rand. Because to me, if Frank was in the game, I think we would have won. At the end of the game, Peyton caused us some crucial turnovers in that overtime that cost us the game. And, why are we not talking about buyout with him?
I think that Elfrid Payton is being looked at. Well, I think that I'm not mad with Elfrid Payton. I'm not mad with Elfrid Payton.
I'm not mad at him.
I think that Elfrid Payton could be a good backup point guard.
Frank's game is growing. It's growing. He had one play on that elbow. He came off that little, and he shot it with confidence, and it was like butter. It was butter. He came off the elbow, off a little, it was like a little pick, and he came off that, and he shot it. And I said, well, if he can operate right there, we got a player. Then they take him out the game, put Peyton in. Peyton turns the ball over, got called for walking 2 straight times, gave the ball to Randall. He fumbled the ball. We lost the game.
Okay. Right,
Basically, that's how it went down with me.
All
I
right.
seen those 3 plays, we lost the game.
All right. Let me get around. I want to find out what some of these guys think. Nate, I'm coming to you. Nate, you there? Nate always blanks out his screen. I'm saying, okay, I guess Nate ain't there. Well, there you go, Nate. There you go. I don't know if you heard about. I don't know why you always blink out the screen, man. You always blink out your screen.
I know. I got to work on that. Sorry.
What Bobby Portis just said about Marcus Morris.
Oh man, I mean, I don't know, man. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I mean, Marcus Morris did a lot for this team, and a lot of credit with a lot of these wins. I mean, Bobby Portis is basically saying like, hey, he was our leading scorer, but hey, we got other scorers on this team, including myself. Well, I mean, let's see it. I mean, I need to see more aggressiveness from Bobby Portis. I feel like he turns down a lot of shots.
He had 14 tonight. He had 13 or 14 tonight, right?
Yeah, but at times in the game, at the end, man, he shied away from some shots. Like he gets a couple wide open threes. I wish he would have hit. I mean, hit him in stride.
Well, I mean, listen. Yeah, he had a couple of wide open shoots, but he was 2 for 4 from the 3-point line. Shot 50% from the 3-point line. He was 5 for 11 from the field. He shot well. Not gonna make everything.
Well, I'll say this, man. When we signed Bobby Portis, man, I was actually excited about the signing because this guy has got potential. I watched him at Arkansas, man, 'cause I'm a big SEC fan. This guy can score, but he needs to be more aggressive,
Well, maybe because Marcus Morris was here, maybe it ate up, it ate some things up. Maybe we'll see. He's been playing well lately. I will say that. I think he's been playing well lately.
Pretty consistent, but I think
his defense has a lot to be desired.
Oh yeah, let's not even go there on that one, man.
Defense has a lot to be desired. Sure. He's shooting 43.3% from the field this season. He's shooting 35.3% from three so far this season. So we'll see. But anyway, man,
he's right. They'll move the ball around. Yeah,
we got a couple of days. Yeah, we got a couple of days, and then we play the Washington Wizards. Just give me a quick take on that game, man.
Well, they have a chance to win again. The defense is gonna be the calling card. We got to play defense. Washington scores a lot of points, and
Washington can score the basketball.
Yeah, and Bradley Beal can score himself. So, man, I'm telling you, man, I really want to see Harkless in this game, man. I think Harkless would be a good matchup for Bradley Beal. At least on the defensive side.
We'll see. We'll see. I guess Harkless was sick tonight, so we'll see. Listen, the Washington Wizards, they're fighting for a playoff spot. They're 3 games out of the 8th seed. They're 18-33 on the season. They're 3 games out of that 8th seed. People might say, oh, they need to tank or whatever. They're going to be fighting for that playoff spot. You look at the Orlando Magic, they're 22-31. They're in the 8th seed right now. The Brooklyn Nets are 23-28. They're in the 7th seed. I seen something today. I know I said I'm not talking about playoffs and stuff like that, right? I'm not talking about playoffs. I want to focus on game by game and stuff like that and all that good stuff. But I did see something today that since Mike Miller has taken over, the Knicks have the 7th best record in the Eastern Conference since Mike Miller's taken over. Just saying. Yeah. Just saying.
They're a more improved team. Defensively, we've had our games where we've played well. I'm still worried about the offense, Sam. I don't know what the hell we're doing on offense, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're doing.
We'll see. Isaiah, coming to you, man. Washington Wizards, Isaiah. Talk to me, bro. The Washington Wizards. Isaiah. I guess Isaiah can't hear me. Mark must be dominating the conversation. Cause Isaiah, can you hear me?
What's going on, son?
Yeah, man. Talking to you, bro.
My bad. I was talking to Mark and Gilmore. My bad. I apologize.
You was listening to Mark because I see Mark. I see his mouth going. You was listening, but the Washington Wizards. Knicks play the Wizards
Wednesday.
Of
a trap game. Let's not take them lightly.
A trap game? Ain't no trap games for the Knicks, man. Ain't no trap games.
Yeah, it's an opportunity for us to really lose big if we don't take them serious and show them respect. They don't play defense, so for God's sakes, let's
that's the truth.
Let's exploit that. Clearly, I thought the strategy before playing the Wizards was to guard Bradley Beal and to let everybody else do their thing, but clearly the Knicks lost to G League players and stuff like that, so we gotta make sure we guard Gary Trent Jr. and all those other guys that play for the Wizards. And yeah, man, let's see if some of the young guys can get some more minutes and keep Frank out there because Frank plays defense. And let's get some more defenders out there and more high IQ players out on the field so that we can actually do something. Yeah, that's what I got to say about the Wizards, man. Let's just try to play smart basketball and let's get some young guys out there and let's try to win.
Yeah, the Wizards, like I said, the Wizards are 5-5 in their last 10 games. We're 5-5 in our last 10 games. They've lost 1 game. We've lost 1 game coming into this game. Right now, they are 18-33. We're 17-37. The nice thing is that we've already won 17 games. So that's always a nice thing. The Wizards, they're in the 9th spot. They're just 3 games behind the Orlando Magic, so they're fighting for that playoff spot. You know what I mean? With me, like I said, I'm not mentioning anything about playoffs. I'm just doing
playoffs.
We just doing what we do. I know people are going to be watching the standings. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to bring the standings over to here because I know people want to see it a little bit, you know, and somewhere in the back, you know, everybody in the chat is going to say, man, we're not making the playoffs. Don't mention the playoffs. But somewhere in the back of some of these people's minds, they're like, I wonder. I know it is. But, you know. Me,
hey, Sim.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this. This is all I'm going to say.
All right.
I ain't worried about the playoffs. I'm either worried about LaMelo or Cole Anthony. That's who I'm worried about.
Me, you know what? I'm just worried about the Knicks playing basketball the best way that they can play basketball. That's what I'm worried about. But
LaMelo or Cole Anthony, Sim. That's my slogan for the rest of the year.
Okay. All right, cool. We'll look at the Eastern Conference standings. Right now, the Milwaukee Bucks are 45-7, Isaiah. That's crazy. 45-7, the Milwaukee Bucks.
Oh, man. You know what? Yo, so can I say this, though, about the Bucks, which is like, I've always had this feeling the last couple of years, man. This was always my problem with Mike Budenholzer, that, you know, with Mike Budenholzer, he's a great regular season coach, Postseason, he just becomes, I call it the Peyton Manning effect. It's just like you're good during the regular season, then off season, then the postseason, you're just not up to par. You know, I don't know, man.
We'll see.
The record is good.
You know, and it was like that with the Atlanta Hawks, right? Right, with the Atlanta Hawks, they started winning 60 games a season, but they couldn't advance past the second round. I don't think the Hawks were as good as these Milwaukee Bucks. And there was something. There was just something that they were missing.
They weren't as good.
Huh?
No, I agree with you 100%. They weren't as good, but it's always been something with Mike Budenholzer during the postseason that he just been so underwhelming. He just doesn't come. He doesn't bring the extra stuff during the postseason. And then also with the Bucks, which I do want to see them go to the finals. I do, because I actually like Giannis. I want him to actually win a ring. We know when it comes to the Bucks, man, it's like I think that Malcolm Brogdon trade is really gonna, after they let him walk, that's gonna kill them during the postseason.
We'll see, man. Listen, they're 45-7. They haven't gotten to the postseason. You know, look who they're gonna play in it. Potentially right now in the AFC, they play Orlando. They're gonna blow through Orlando. Right?
Yeah, that's gonna be a sweep.
Yeah, probably be a sweep. And then in second round, they would likely be playing, I don't know, who would they be playing? Probably Miami or Philadelphia.
Oh, man, nah. See, that the Miami one, I'll be honest with you, so I told you the other day when during the trade deadline, I'm telling you, man, Miami, I think they can do something.
Okay. Because the way it's set up right now, Milwaukee would play Orlando, Toronto would play Brooklyn, Boston would play Indiana, and Miami would play Philadelphia. Milwaukee would play the lowest seed that advances, right? So the lowest seed that would advance, the way it's set up now, would be Miami or Philadelphia. That would be the lowest seed that advances. Miami, I think they'll beat Philadelphia. Miami, they've added some beef to their squad. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens there. And then they advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. You're looking at Toronto, Boston. Toronto's won 14 straight games right now. They're 10-0 in the last 10.
Sam, I don't know what it is, Sam. I don't know what it is, man, but I like Miami and Toronto. I like these grinding teams. It's like these teams remind me of the Knicks teams, you know, back in the day when it was just about, you know what, you didn't know every guy on the team, but you didn't know that they were gonna play hard. They were going to grind out some wins, and they're going to play defense. You know, those are the teams, man, that it just makes you appreciate basketball sometimes.
Yeah. It's we'll see how this is going to go. Anyway, the New York Knicks, ladies and gentlemen, they are currently in the 12th spot in the Eastern Conference. They're 17-37. They're a game and a half behind the Pistons. They're 2 games behind the Chicago Bulls. And they are 2.5 games behind the Washington Wizards. But if the Knicks would have beat the Wizards and they have 18 wins, and the Wizards would have 18 wins, the Knicks would need one more win to get up to that 19 and be in the running with the, be right here bunched up with the Wizards, the Bulls, Chicago, the Wizards, the Bulls, Detroit, to be right here in this mix. Now, Detroit, you look at Detroit, the Pistons have lost their last 2. The Chicago Bulls, they've lost their last 5. These guys are falling. We don't know if the Knicks are going to continue to be on a rise or not. They're 4-1 in their last 5. They're 5-5 in their last 10. But they are getting ready to play some tougher competition. They play the Wizards, and then it's Indiana, Houston with what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. Looking at the Western Conference right now, the Los Angeles Lakers, they're on top of the Western Conference. And just take a look at this. People are talking, I heard what you're saying about the Bucks, but they're 45-7. The closest team to them, record-wise, are the Lakers, and the Lakers got 12 losses. I know, man. The Bucks we'll see. The Lakers right now, they're 39-12. The Nuggets 37-16. The Clippers 37-16. We'll see how much Marcus Morris really adds to the Clippers if he can, kind of boost them to being the favorites in the Western Conference. Utah's 34-18. The Houston Rockets are experimenting with something kind of new. I mean, they're basically playing with a 6-7 and under team. We'll see how that works out for them. They're 33-20. OKC is 32-21. Rebuilding and winning at the same time. OKC. People thought it couldn't be done. Well, they're doing it. They're rebuilding and winning at the same time. The Mavericks, they're 32-21, 7th seed in the 7th seed. The Memphis Grizzlies, they're also a team that is rebuilding and winning at the same time. They're 27-26. They're in the 8th seed. Got Portland's in the 9th seed. San Antonio's in the 10th seed. I look at the top 8. I don't see Portland, San Antonio, the Pelicans. I don't see any of these teams leapfrogging into that 8th spot. Unless Portland can get hot, I don't see it happening. I think that Memphis is going to stay in that 8th spot. These 8 teams you see here, that's who's staying, in my opinion. That's going to be it's going to be fun. We're coming down the stretch where we're really starting to look at these playoff standings, and we'll see how it's going to go. I'm really interested to see what the Rockets are doing and if it works for them. You know what I'm saying? But hey, the Knicks play the Washington Wizards Wednesday, and if anybody thinks, if there is anyone out there that thinks that the Knicks have a chance to make the playoffs, then I guess this one has playoff implications, if that's what you want to say. All right, but I'm gonna give everybody a chance to say some last words, and then I'm out of here, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Mark. I don't look like I'm gonna start with Mark. All right, Mark, I'm coming to you. Isaiah, let Mark know that I'm coming to him so I can give him some last words. And while Mark is getting ready, ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind you to subscribe to the channel. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell. You'll be notified anytime I go live, drop a video, or post in my community section. All right, Mark, I'm coming to you, man. Mark.
Ain't playing.
Hey, Mark. Never mind. Mark ain't paying attention, man. I'm going to come to Guillermo and get some last words from Guillermo, and then, we'll roll up out of here. Guillermo?
Yeah, what's up, Sam?
Just looking for some last words from you, bro. I'm about to get up out of here.
Well, right now, like Isaiah said, man, we're just in this weird abyss, this weird purgatory period where you're just watching games and I don't know. You don't really know what to watch for. Are you watching development? I'm not talking about no stupid playoffs. Right now we're in a free front office that's in flux. And again, I'm not a biggest fan of the hire or the expected hire, but it is what it is, man. I just don't know. That's all I can say. That's my last words. I don't know.
All right, man. All right. You don't know. I feel you. I know. I feel you, man. Who knows what to expect. I just can't wait till he gets in and makes a public statement. That's what I'm waiting for. See where his mindset is. You know what I mean? That's what I'm waiting for. Get in there and then let's see what the mindset is.
I am looking forward to that. Yeah.
Yeah. Mark. Yeah, man.
I'm kind of concurring with Guamo, man, because I'm lost at sea with this team, man. It's just at times. I don't know. I just want to see more. I want to see more of the young players being put in certain situations that make them uncomfortable. Like, I just want to see a lot of RJ in the post. That's just me, because I think that's his game for right now. And they don't utilize his strength. And he plays bully ball, and he could get to the line. So if you get it close, it's either going to foul, because he's going to go up, or he's going to get a hand one bucket. I just don't think they're utilizing the kid. They push him into the corners. He's not a great shooter yet. So it's just a lot that makes him inconsistent, that makes him rush shots, that makes him not feel part of the offense. He has to get the touches. You have to move him. You got to make him active, man, for him to look decent of a player where we should see him, because he has the talent, he has the attitude, and I'm just tired. I just want y'all guys to pay attention next game. I'm tired of the hot potato basketball that we play. I'm tired of it, because I'm watching teams saying, listen, this is what they're going to run every play, so let's not even worry about anybody else, because they ain't touching the ball. Okay? Until that change, man, I'm lost at sea. I'm lost at sea, Sim. I really am, bro.
We'll see. Well, we'll see what happens. I'm just really, I just really want to see what's going on when Leon Rose gets here and what he says the plan is and vision is for,
because
moving forward.
Yeah, when that happens, you want to pick them up. You want to see what he says in the podium and stuff like that, and then you want to see what he plans to do, and then from there we just continue with the season. And we might win 25 games, as I said, coming into the season, 20 to 25. 30 was a little reach, but 20 to 25. And like I said, there's some games I like, the games where I, get more excited with the wins, just like when we beat Miami and the Pacers and we held them to points. So when we go against those guys and we see games like that, I am a little more optimistic about the team. But when we go against guys like this, like, why are you playing at that? We're both at the same level, but still, you want to play a little better than that bad team. You get what I'm saying? You don't want to play down to them at the end of the day. But when I see the Knicks,
well, I mean, I will say this: the Atlanta Hawks are 5-5 in their last 10 games. It's not like they're playing horrible basketball. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who they played in those 10 games, but they're 5-5 in their last 10. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like they're playing horrible basketball. There's a host of teams that are in the playoffs right now. Philadelphia is 5-5 in their last 10 games. Miami, they're 5-5 in their last 10 games. So sometimes you catch a team when they're streaking. I'm not saying that, I'm not saying anything about the Hawks, but it's not like they're playing horrible basketball.
I'm just saying the way we was playing them today, like, we don't want to, that'd be my main thing. You don't want to play a game like that and lose the way you lost.
Yeah, well, we had to win in overtime. We had to win. We fought. We came back. And then in overtime, our offensive scheme was just horrible in that last minute and 34 seconds of the first overtime. It was just terrible, and we lost it right there, man. But hey, I do want to say one more thing. Yeah. One more thing. Do you know our front office has not addressed the media since Scott Perry and Steve Mills, or Steve Mills and Scott Perry, had that press conference after the game? They've not addressed the media.
They run the organization like a private institution, bro.
Crazy.
They don't have media. That's why when they do a lot of crazy stuff there, you don't trust organizations like that. So like the few weeks when I say something's gonna happen, it's because they don't do the things the right way. They didn't even do an interview to even bring in Mike Miller. They normally do an interview.
I know, man. But hey, Mark, let me get out of here, man, because I got some things I got to do. I appreciate it. And I will definitely be on Tuesday to do a game preview, and I'll be doing Knicks Weekly tomorrow. So make sure you check me out with Knicks Weekly. I think it's going to be at nighttime, though. So All right. But you'll get a notification when I'm going to be doing Knicks Weekly tomorrow. But I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, no doubt. I appreciate you, bro.
All right. Peace. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. I do want to give a shout out to everybody that joined me tonight. Rare Form. I seen something that you just said. Rare Form. You said, my uncle introduced me to the Knicks in 1992. That was one of the worst days of my life. Set you on a course to be right here, bro. Set you on a course to be right here. Just think about it. If your uncle, it had to be a good day, though, because if your uncle would have never introduced you to the Knicks, you wouldn't be in the NBK chat with all these beautiful people here. You know what I'm saying? So you wouldn't be chatting with all these wonderful people that's in this chat. So had to be a good day, my man. Anyway, I'm out of here, ladies and gentlemen. You will get the notification when I'm at what time I'm doing Knicks Weekly tomorrow. I think it's going to be probably tomorrow night. All right, because so much stuff been going on. You know, I got to set up the show and get everything together for the show. So join me on Knicks Weekly. I will have a notification that comes out here on YouTube, right? And it'll just tell you, it'll give you the link. It'll be live, but it'll give you the link to go to Knicks Weekly. All right, so that you can join me on Knicks Weekly. It's exclusively on Sportscaster. But ladies and gentlemen, I am out of here. Have a great start to your work week, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.
That's the deal.